Oh, do you have tryptophobia?
No. What
does a botfly look like?
The botflies burrow into the skin.
Shall I
of the
look
creature.
up one?
No. It's visually gorgeous and incredible. You know, a lot of the stuff in the movie is real.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's real planes and real G's, like Tom Cruise.
There was one villain that was worse than Barbossa, Blackbeard, and Salazar, and it was a female. Her name is Amber Heard. We lived there. It was Pittsburgh. It resonates with our city.
We didn't even live in Pittsburgh.
You guys, I'm making a point. I'm saying it's like every other city in America.
Dude, I can't take it.
Welcome back to the Wacky Wonderful Wiseworks podcast, everybody. Guys, gals, geeks, and goofballs.
Guys, gals, geeks, and goofballs.
Yeah.
Balls.
I tried really hard. I was like, I was going to go into that, but it just like...
It petered.
Yeah, it petered. I'm going to get more drink in me.
Get that drink.
That cranberry drink is
No,
not
it's
even
just
alcoholic.
black. No, it's just black cherry.
Oh, I thought it was cranberry.
No, for the sugar.
Yeah.
For the sugar.
For the sugar.
Get that.
I also have a sugar. Do you have a sugar?
I did have a coffee.
Okay.
Did it have any sugar?
That's it.
No
The question
sugar.
of the hour is, do you have a sugar?
I did throw hot chocolate in there. You said I could have
That's a
have
sugar.
hot chocolate, so I threw a packet of hot
That's
chocolate.
a sugar.
There you
Josh
go.
has got a sugar.
I didn't put actual sugar in it,
I'm
though.
going to make some hot chocolate for the midnight special.
Oh,
it hit
please
different.
do.
That was
Please
the
do.
first hot
Yeah.
chocolate of the season.
Yeah, I stole some from your house,
You
so...
gotta give it back. That's right.
Although I considered it payment for
Yeah.
Thanksgiving. But
And this guy
I wonder.
freaking out about a shrew, apparently.
I wasn't freaking out about anything.
Hold on. Maybe you tell the story right quick.
The story's... I mean, there's not much to the story. While Joe was away for Thanksgiving,
You encountered a wild beast, is what you did.
Well, I encountered Fifi, who had already, destroyed said beast. I went over to his house to watch his cat, and his cat had a shrew, which isn't a mouse and it's not a rat. It's a shrew. Nobody...
Give me size. I don't know what a shrew really looks
Not
like.
that big.
Hold on, I need to look this up.
So what you're saying
No
is,
neck.
when the humans are away,
That's when the shrews play.
shrews
yeah.
play. I was going to say mice, but you
Yeah, the
specifically said it was not a shrew.
Well, it's because I called
It was a
him.
mouse.
I called him. No,
I
it
saw it.
wasn't. I called him, and I was like, "Well, she's got a shrew," and he's like, "All right, so she's got a mouse." I'm like, well, it's mouse-like, but it's not a mouse. And then Josh is like, "It's a mouse," but it's not. It's clearly a shrew.
It's a tiny little shrew. That's a tiny.
Yeah, they're almost mole-like in appearance.
tiny. How did it get inside?
Well, that's smaller than.
Yeah.
That's much smaller than the one I encountered.
the one he encountered was about that big.
They're
This big?
No.
they are.
Holy cow!
No,
No,
not
yeah, I'm
that
kidding.
big. He was half that size.
Yeah,
maybe.
about half that size.
They can squeeze through a ton of stuff. They can just flatten their little bodies, and they got that short, soft
I don't like looking at it.
fur.
Mm-hmm.
So
They could have gone under the door.
yeah, it could have gotten in under the door. They can slip in and out of places pretty easy. Look at that guy's holding one.
Mm-hmm.
See how loose its skin is?
Yeah.
Yeah, they can.
He's a loosey
It's a
goosey.
slipping. It's
They're
a
little
slipping
slippery,
agent.
slidey
oh,
boys.
goodness.
Yeah,
They can flatten themselves.
that one looks like it's in pain and probably dead.
No, it's eating cheese.
cheese.
Oh, is it? No, I don't know. That looks like a setup photo. That does not look like he is alive.
I don't like looking at him. Turn it off.
So we
Turn
had
it
a
off.
shrew in our
So
house.
they had a shrew in the house, and the issue was that Fifi had it.
The shrew.
The shrew. Normally, I'm okay with that. Let the cat play with the mouse and eat it. That's what cats do. The issue I had was that I didn't want her to take it up onto your bed and eat it.
Which she would have.
and get
Fiona's the
Don't say the worst.
Fiona's a really nice cat who doesn't like Josh for some reason, but not many things do. So
You're funny. Why? You're funny.
Thanks. So I tried to get the shrew away from Fifi, but she picked it up in her mouth and she ran into the room and went under the bed, which is a big bed, and there's a lot of stuff under it.
That's how I do things in my bedroom.
Yeah. So I called Josh after I had called Joe and let him know. And I got Josh over, and he was, what is that?
It's just Seth.
Oh, okay.
Ignore it.
All right, we'll ignore it. Josh comes over, and he steps in the doorway like, he's doing this the whole time. I'm like, come in here and help me move the bed. And he's like,
So I probably talked about this on the podcast before, but I can do snakes. I can do spiders. I can do bats. I can do a lot of things.
that bats wasn't believable. Bats.
He sounded a little scared of bats.
But no, I don't do the mice thing. And it's for one specific reason.
I don't know what. They bite?
No, I had a traumatizing experience.
Oh,
it's another
okay.
story.
One
We'll finish
jumped
your
up
story.
because it got scared. It was trying to run from him, but the only direction to run was vertically.
Yeah.
Which is where Joshua's face
One jumped
was.
at me in the trash rooms once, and I kicked it. Awesome.
See, he kicks his.
Well,
So-
as an
fears.
adult, mine was when I was a wee little crouton.
No,
Yeah.
you were freaking what? Like 17?
No.
Maybe, probably 17.
So-
No, I was like 11.
To finish this story, we move the bed. I search under there with a flashlight. Eventually, I managed to lure Fifi out and shut the door. And I saw the shrew. Saw it laying there. It's breathing. But I couldn't reach it. And so I had Josh help me push the bed back so that I could reach the shrew because it was close to the where your feet go. When I went back, the shrew was gone.
Oh.
And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. So I continued searching, and knowing that they can flatten their little bodies, I started looking in between whatever those things you have under your bed were.
Was
Was it for a bed?
It's the canopy.
Canopy
Boards for the bed.
And I saw the little furry body wedged in between some of those and pulled it out, and he was dead. So I got it out, and I showed Josh, and he was like, ugh.
Did you show Fiona?
No.
You show her, be like, look what you've done.
He's like, oh, it's a mouse. I said, no,
shrew.
it's not a mouse. He's like, they become rats. This isn't Pokemon. Sparrows don't become eagles.
And you got to prove that. I never mind. I was gonna say joke. I didn't. I don't have a joke.
So I got rid of it, and that was that. And then I forgot my jacket. Because all while I was doing this, I still had a turkey to prepare.
Yeah.
For Thanksgiving.
But you were trying to fight a shrew.
And I was trying to get a shrew out, right? So...
Would you have ate it if you would have stuffed the shrew's body inside the turkey?
No.
And just baked it that way? And then took the shrew out all baked and crisped?
No.
And be like, flavor.
I wouldn't have eaten the shrew either.
You wouldn't have ate?
Now, I don't know.
What if you were in a lone situation? Would you eat the shrew?
Yeah. A desert rat where I know that it's not had any infections or anything. It's just living out in the wild. Sure.
Eat
The
that.
New York street rat? No way.
No.
Nope.
No, you never eat the New York street rat.
No. I'm
Never.
okay. I'm okay
You're
eating
like
wild,
the plague.
clean rodents.
Yeah.
Unless they got bot flies. Ain't about that.
Well,
You
bot
can't
flies.
You can't even imagine bot flies.
No,
can you?
it's not the botfly. It's the botfly on. Why am I saying
Underneath the skin. Oh, do you have tryptophobia?
No. What?
What does a botfly look like?
The botflies burrow into the skin.
Shall
of
I
the
look up
creature.
one?
No.
No.
Because while
I'm about to lose
I don't
it.
have. You ever seen the video of like the baby toads that grow inside the mother's back?
Hey, what's our opening segment? I'm curious.
He definitely is tryptophobic.
Do you not
can't
like?
do
Do
this.
you not like things in holes on people's bodies?
I can't do this.
The
No,
flesh
I just
holes.
don't.
The multiple flesh holes.
Like
Yeah.
the beehive on skin.
Dude, my dad saw that frog video and had a visceral reaction. We were going to a movie. He almost vomited. It took him about 20 minutes just sitting there trying to focus.
Yeah, I can't do it. I can't
yeah,
do it.
no,
My goodness.
I don't enjoy it, but gosh dang it, I can handle it.
If you don't like, if you have tryptophobia, don't think of these things and don't look them up. Definitely.
But you can look up, like if you want to ease yourself into getting over your phobia, start with like pimple popping videos.
No.
That's the worst. That I can't do that.
That's a natural
just
reaction.
disgusting.
Everyone's popped their own pimple.
Now, baby frogs coming out of a mommy frog's back, skin out of the skin, just pushing right out. I can do that.
Yeah, it's easy. That's natural.
I can't. The pimple thing is disgusting to me.
That's crazy. Everyone's popped their own
Wild.
pimples. You just have to
in
get-
private.
No,
in private.
But then it looks the exact same as
In
yours.
private.
The thing is, it looks exactly the same as
No,
yours.
no.
Whatever.
In private. You do that in private. Same way you wipe your butt in private.
Not for babies.
All right.
We got to wipe babies.
This is the worst podcast I've ever been a part of. Can we just
So our opener is we're gonna explore the question, the difference between sci-fi and fantasy.
Yeah.
Interesting question.
It is.
Interesting question posed by people everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
What is the difference between sci-fi and fantasy? And is there such thing as science fantasy?
science fic?
Science fiction is
Yeah.
what sci-fi stands for. Yes, there is.
And what is an example? First, let's give the example of what is fantasy.
Like Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings. What's another fantasy? Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
What's another
Narnia.
fantasy? Narnia.
Yeah.
What is one that's a different
Dungeons
realm?
and Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons. What's a different fantasy?
So if our main protagonist carries a sword
Yeah.
and
Or
not a
bow.
lightsaber
Yeah.
however,
or a blaster,
we should. And then what's sci-fi?
Star Trek.
Star Trek. Star Wars.
Star Trek. Dune. Star Wars.
Now we're gonna explore Star Wars.
Walks a line.
Yeah, it does walk a line. And what's another sci-fi? Dune.
Mm-hmm.
Dune is sci-fi.
2001: Space Odyssey,
Blade Runner is sci-fi.
Oh yeah, big time.
Close Encounters of the Third Kind,
Alien.
Sci-fi. Yeah. So we're talking futuristic versus history. In some way, that is a loose
one is based
identifier.
One is based on a loose identity of the future. One is based on a loose identity of the past.
or
minute.
a time that looks like our past or our possible future.
Yeah.
That's what it's based
Wait,
on.
what's the question we're asking? We're asking fantasy.
The difference
versus,
between sci-fi and
Sci-fi
fantasy.
Okay, what's the Outlander?
That is fantasy. It's historic fantasy.
Okay.
So not high fantasy.
Okay.
Which is what Lord of the Rings is.
So
High
we're
fantasy.
so let's go ahead
Okay.
and define the
Fantasy.
different fantasies. So you're saying we got high fantasy. So describe what a high fantasy is.
High fantasy is Lord of the Rings,
So
Dungeons
give
and
us
Dragons.
instead of an example.
sword and board, your typical sword and board kind of thing.
Sword and board. So we're talking maps and warfare kind of situation.
Sword, board,
Shield,
it's a shield. Yeah.
sword and shield.
Anything, your high fantasy shows up primarily in books and video games. There's not a lot of super great high fantasy movies and shows. Not nearly as many as sci-fi.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, Game of Thrones is high fantasy.
mm-hmm.
It's got dragons in there.
Oh yeah,
So very high fantasy. So what is another type of fantasy? You said
historic fantasy.
historic fantasy. So let's describe that.
So that's gonna be like, you said time travel, Outlander.
Yes. There
yeah.
can only be one.
What? That's Highlander.
That's what I meant.
So that would be historic fantasy because it kind of comes into, it's fantasy that kind of goes
Yeah.
from the past to now. So
What-
immortals, time travel.
What was the first one you said then?
Doctor Who.
That's sci-fi.
Okay. I'd be interested to hear.
What I say? High fantasy?
No, you're talking about
Outlander, which is
historical
time travel.
fantasy.
It's time travel.
So then when you said it walks the line with Star Wars, describe what you mean with that.
So Star Wars has all the elements of a high fantasy story. A different world.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the times, different worlds, monsters, different creatures, wizards. Quests. It has to be wizards and quests. Princess in danger in an impenetrable castle.
It follows fantasy
It
tropes.
follows your fantasy tropes.
Yeah.
We gotta penetrate
But
this castle.
it's in a setting that reminds you of sci-fi, or is sci-fi.
Yeah. It's a sci-fi setting with fantasy elements. So it kind of walks the line.
You have a famous quote that it might not be yours. I don't know. It's not the words George Lucas uses, but how do you describe in your own words Star Wars? You said it's like a soap opera.
It's a space opera.
Space opera.
No, yeah, it's definitely space
Space opera.
That's what people call it. Yeah,
People call it. I've only ever heard you call it that.
space opera.
It's a good descriptor of Star Wars. And then Dune.
Fantasy. No, sci-fi. Now, there's a lot of fantasy in Dune, but it's definitely sci-fi.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
So-
structured and the story moves.
Yeah,
like
so
a
even though it takes
sci-fi.
place primarily on one planet, there's lots of
But there are other planets.
pseudo-technology, people going between the stars, and it's, I don't know, it's not high fantasy-ish. Even though it follows, again, a lot of high fantasy things like lords and ladies and dukes and emperors and things like that, which are all very high fantasy stuff. It's very firmly sci-fi.
What's why? So we've kind of established. I'm just curious. What made people to start writing stories like a sci-fi fantasy, almost like what you're saying, with Dune being like very fantasy-esque elements in it, but it's clearly sci-fi. They've been doing this for a while. A lot of movies have it. Why do people write stories like that? They like romanticize the past.
Well, we were coming off of, in the early days of, like H. Beam Piper and who wrote Frank Herbert, who wrote Dune.
Yeah.
Those are all like public domain stuff. So they were all coming up with sci-fi way back in the early
80s, 90s,
20th century.
Oh.
Right? And so
way back there.
we were just coming off of, 30 years earlier, there were still cowboys and Indians.
Yes.
There was, and not too long before that, there was still, there was ships on the high seas. The world was smaller.
Yeah.
So fantasy and the idea that there are monsters, but they're in a faraway land, it's still there.
Mm-hmm.
So as you're writing, they would have those tropes, and it would carry through into today, which is why a lot of sci-fi has a lot of monsters and magic,
Or there's
even
so
Star
many-
Trek.
There's so many like time traveling like night movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like what was the one you were watching with Paul Walker?
Timeline.
Timeline.
Yeah. And Outlander, and what's another time traveling medieval thing?
Rick and Morty.
Time.
Shut up.
It's all sci-fi.
Yeah, but they go to some places. Didn't they go to that Purge planet?
That's still sci-fi.
Cowboy world. So when we look at science fiction,
Mm-hmm.
what might be the staple of science fiction? Would it be space?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it all
'cause
technology?
You can travel through time, and that'd be
is the
sci-fi.
staple
Yeah.
is the staple technology?
Would it be a technology-based MacGuffin?
No.
That's not a MacGuffin.
I would say, it's definitely a different technology,
Yeah.
like a different technology and some forms of advancement.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that's That's tricky to say though, because I would say fantasy. So okay, I can't think of one off the top of my head, but like let's say a movie is a fantasy, you'd classify it under fantasy, but the whole premise is like them creating the catapult or something. So it's like advancing technology.
No, I'm talking like an advancement in technology that like doesn't exist or something.
Like it's beyond us.
Like a spaceship or
electronicals.
Yeah,
laser
robots.
swords.
Okay.
You know, stuff like that.
Let me ask you this: Harry Potter fantasy?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
100%.
100%.
Now,
fantasy.
when you get into fantasy, does it matter that there are different kinds of magic systems or no magic system? Maybe it's just monsters and people, or there's nothing but magic, like Harry Potter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't define a different category of fantasy, does it?
No, Harry Potter's not. I mean, it's probably there's subcategories of subcategories.
Yes.
So it's definitely like school for people magic thing, right? Which there's a ton of those. But it's very definitely fantasy. I think that it's a far cry from like Star Trek. I know I keep going back to Star Trek, but that's the definitive like science fiction in my head.
Yeah.
Or Blade Runner.
But Star Trek was more popular, so it resonates with more people as far as
And Blade Runner's the original one, you know, it's a movie, not a show.
So I think we've nailed down pretty heavily, like we can identify a difference between a sci-fi and fiction, even when the lines get blurred, like Star Wars. At its core, it's a sci-fi. It just is reminiscent. It takes a lot of cues from fantasy stories. So my question is, what if a story is split 50-50? So let's talk about something like Outlander for a second, all right?
Have you seen Outlander?
I've sampled.
Okay.
When Kenzie watched the show.
Yeah.
And I just stepped in for like 10 minutes and left, right? So there are elements to the person who time traveled that and follows equally, if not more, the people who are back in time.
Yeah.
So we have two characters. One person is a sci-fi character and one person is a fantasy character. And the story focuses on both groups. So at what point is that a fantasy or sci-fi?
I would just say sci-fi at that point.
Also, the sci-fi
that definitely
does sci-fi
feels like
trump a fantasy then?
So if you have a focus, you have a focus on the technology, and the Outlander is historical, right?
So it's not technically it's history fantasy, historical
So
fantasy.
then it becomes science fiction.
But we sometimes just completely in that story neglect the sci-fi time traveling
Then
part.
it's historical
and
fiction.
just focus in on the characters that were there during that point in history, and so
Then
it doesn't.
It's
focus
historical fiction, but it's not high fantasy.
It's definitely not high fantasy.
Yeah,
but it's still
something that borders the line. I would say is, I don't know, if wizards were the only people who could control spaceships.
Yeah.
People with magic were the ones. I mean, Sanderson's doing it a lot nowadays. He's writing his worlds almost like you would a science fiction with rules and everything, building them the way a science fiction writer would.
Yes.
And then filling them with fantasy elements.
Like
so
Star
it's
Wars.
like his worlds are advancing. The most recent one I finished, they're like getting past cowboys. They're like in the 1920s.
Okay.
And so
We're talking
they're
World War.
Yeah, they're close. Like they avoided nukes.
Okay.
They're close to space travel. So when these people who are wielding magic are also flying in space and driving around in cars, I think that can become sort of a blend between science fiction and high fantasy.
So, did you watch any of Wednesday yet? Wednesday Addams. You finished Wednesday. I finished it today.
I believe that falls into fantasy.
Dark fantasy.
Yeah.
Dark fantasy, I guess.
Or horror fantasy.
Horror. I wish there was a better term like goth fantasy or something.
It's dark.
Because it's
Yeah.
dark, I guess. I wouldn't say it's the best kind of fantasy, but I do put it in the same category as Harry Potter. I think Harry Potter's dark fantasy in some fashion. And I don't know. I think for the most part, your gut kind of knows. You know what I mean? The difference between a sci-fi and a fantasy.
Yeah.
Would you agree, Joshua?
Yeah.
Does your gut kind of know?
But do you know the difference between traditional fantasy and grimdark fantasy?
Do not. Let's
What's a
dig into
grimdark?
that.
Grimdark is Game of Thrones. Well, I don't know if it's not quite grimdark, but it is. Grimdark is when characters make decisions, when good characters make decisions and it goes bad. Bad characters make decisions and it goes bad. Everything goes bad. Everybody dies. Nothing is happy. It's, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Okay, grimdark is a subgenre.
The Blade itself, the
speculative
Poppy
fiction.
War, those are definitely grimdark.
Fiction with a tone, style, or setting that is particularly dystopian, amoral, and violent.
And there can be grimdark sci-fi.
So what's grimdark sci-fi? Blade Runner?
Oh, they say Warhammer. Warhammer's everything.
What's grimdark sci-fi?
I don't. What is it? What would be a grimdark sci-fi?
I think
can't think of
Blade
anything
Runner's
that
pretty
dark.
freaking dark.
It's dark. I don't know that it's quite grimdark. Yeah, it would be grimdark. I
The
think
first one probably. The second one not so much.
the second one too,
Maybe.
because it's got you don't know who you're really rooting for, and then I don't know. There's not as many. I don't think there's as many grimdark sci-fi as there is fantasy.
Well, do you think Lord of the Rings is grimdark at all?
No.
I mean, it ends on a happy note, but it's nothing but darkness and shadow through the whole story.
But the story is about the light
Piercing the
dark and overcoming and victory, right? Yeah. Whereas, like, for example, the Blade itself is about the wizard who is trying to find the magic item is doing it for his own means, and so are all the other characters. And the magic item, when used, it like gives somebody powers, but it also releases like radiation and kills 10% of the population from like cancerous radiation effects. And the one of the main characters is a berserker, and so if he goes berserk when he's fighting, he'll kill everybody around him, even his friends. And then another one of the main characters is tortured so much that it hurts to move, and he limps around, but he's like kind of like a police officer, and it's hard to listen to, thoroughly enjoyable though.
What was the other one besides grimdark you mentioned?
I don't know. I think I just said fantasy.
Yeah.
High fantasy.
High fantasy and grimdark. High fantasy, Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Lord of the Rings is a good just.
There's so many. There's so many like subgenres, and
I would love
fantasy.
to break down at some point this subgenre culture of sci-fi and fantasy.
Yeah.
I think it'd be fun.
That's a lot, though.
But it'd be fun.
I feel like we should close this segment because there's a lot we could get to.
Yeah,
and
but
we can't talk about it.
We're gonna at some point get into this subgenre.
Yeah, we
got
gotta jump back in.
Look, we dipped our toes. We'll go up to our butts waiting in the water next time.
Maybe we'll do a segment talking about your a favorite IP or something from each subgenre.
Each subgenre.
We'll look up the primary subgenres of high fantasy and find something.
When we're talking about subgenre, are we talking about like Jersey Mike's, Firehouse, Subway? Or are we talking about like
subgenre?
I hate myself for that.
I like it though. Subgenre.
I preferred the Jersey Mike, to be honest. They're the superior.
I don't know.
I like Jersey Mike.
I like a lot of different
Let's see, subgenres of fantasy. I just want to get an idea of how many there are. Oh, come on.
Yeah, real nice computer guy. Get a new one.
Hey.
Okay, subgenres of fantasy list. Where's the list at? Okay,
High
fantasy, epic fantasy, urban fantasy, low fantasy.
So the opposite. Wait, go back out. The opposite of high fantasy. Though its title is no reflection of its standing, it involves a real world setting with magical and supernatural features. Okay,
Well,
so
it's a
like
shrew.
like supernatural.
It is a shrew. We're going first.
Sword and sorcery.
Sword
Yeah.
and sorcery, horror fantasy.
Horror fantasy.
Oh.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, so you're a big Stephen King, dark fantasy.
Yeah.
Dark, grim dark.
Steampunk.
Okay, we
Arcane.
can.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that it's not a
It's-
sci-fi though.
No, it's fantasy. It would be a sci-fi if it followed our conventions of technology, but it doesn't.
Gotcha.
It follows. It's a steampunk.
So steampunk is a one that would probably confuse me for a little while, and science
Arcane.
fantasy.
Yeah. There's so much.
Well, we just listed them off pretty much.
Yeah.
But
Now,
that's a lot.
There
That's
is
a
a
lot.
lot,
It's a lot.
and we can break down. We can do a video at some point that says different kinds, like breaking down all of the fantasies.
All the fantasies. I'd love to pick like your favorite movie, TV show, or book out of
yeah.
any of the
Ready Player One.
subgenres.
What would you call that?
That's
It's just
that's
sci-fi.
Yeah.
But there's the specific what is it, MPG
RPG.
RPG.
Yeah, it's an MMORPG.
Is it, yeah, so
Okay,
it's
that's
a specific kind
confusing.
of thing.
Mass multiplayer online RPG role playing game.
Okay.
So it's a story about someone who's playing games.
Yeah.
That's RPG. You said your brother's been into RPG books lately. Hardcore.
Ethan's always downloading some sort of.
I'm into them too. I just don't read them
RPG.
that much. I need to get with Ethan and talk about get some recommendations.
There's a
from him.
lot because
Some good ones.
sometimes it's your character going into a game full dive, partial dive, or or getting trapped in a fantasy world, but everything has game rules.
yeah.
It's like, oh, I have a stat bar, I have a health bar.
Yeah.
I can do these tasks and I can level my luck or my strength. I hate those ones. I'm not a huge fan of those ones.
What?
Never mind. We'll talk about it later.
You can say it now.
Not really a podcast question.
Well, say it now.
I was just gonna say, could I get on your Audible? Just take a peek.
Yeah, you absolutely could.
You want to
I'm
get on
curious.
Wyatt's Audible?
No, they all share like 2 Audibles.
Yeah,
three
yeah,
Audibles.
2 or
You're
3.
curious to see what the Goforths are delving into? I think that's a dangerous world.
That's
to
a
play.
dangerous world, but I'm
I mean, look.
Wyatt's like,
I want to
what is
look at
on
what
here?
Ethan's listening to because he's the one who listens to some crazy stuff.
Does he?
He's constantly just
He's always
listening
looking
to
for something, and
new.
trying something. Let's see what he's downloaded recently. Armageddon. It's an Awaken Online book. Okay, that's new. Hold on.
Armageddon. What is that? That sounds familiar.
Yeah,
Armageddon.
there's
is-
a movie
there's
called
a
Armageddon.
ton of Armageddon.
There's a lot of Armageddons. That's a title for people who have lost their creativity.
Oh.
Do you want to
Read the synopsis. What is it?
thank?
So
oh,
this is like the biggest online thing that we've been listening to over the years.
Yeah.
Is Awaken Online, and I guess it's just the newest book has come out. I didn't think it was gonna come out so soon, but it's just a guy who goes into a game.
RPG.
He buys a headset. He gets in the bed, and there's an AI in the game that's essentially sentient and takes an interest in him, and he becomes the villain of the game. He's not a bad person.
yeah.
He's a good person, but he becomes the villain of the game that everybody else is fighting against. It's a cool,
Yeah, kind of like that new LeBron James Space Jam with Don Cheadle.
No. You can't compare.
a little bit. That's kind of what it was like.
yeah.
All right. Before we
Patreon?
move on, thank you, Karina.
Thank you.
Thank you for being a Patreon supporter, Karina.
Mm-hmm.
You support us over on Patreon, and that's a fact.
Am I supposed to say something now?
No. No, you just gave us that look like.
Oh no! Say whatever you want.
I was like,
Give your thoughts
thank
of
you.
Karina.
We do appreciate you so much. You're the best of the sisters. Don't tell the other ones I said that.
The other, some of them are
There's a
other
whole world of
Patreon
sisters.
subscribers.
There's a whole
when
world
their
of
names
sisters.
come up, I'll say the same thing. But you're my favorite for right now.
Yeah, if you two want to support us over on Patreon, there's exclusive stuff you can watch over there, long form, short form, as well as all these podcasts and everything.
Some reactions.
Early, some reactions, pre-show every single week. We do a
Movie
20-minute
commentaries.
pre-show where you get to see the raw us every single week. The last week's, me and Joshua did nothing but argue angrily, and Wyatt stoked the flames. If he had a blanket,
Is that how
he'd
you
literally
stoke
be
flames? I was thinking about what's that thing that you pump like this? And
A blower. Yeah.
that you stoke flames with that.
Yep.
I
blower
would say
blower.
Yeah.
that
Puff,
rather
puff,
than
puffy
that.
puff.
a blower.
I'm making fun of the fact he doesn't know the name.
I don't know the name.
It's okay.
A blowy.
Yes.
What are we talking about next? What's the next thing? I'm pretty sure it's about
the
Chris
links in the
Pratt.
description. If you wanna support us over on Patreon, go to the link in the description and select the tier that best fits your content needs.
Yeah.
Thank you, Karina.
Mario.
It's me, you're Mario.
So, what do you want to say about Mario, Joshua? I heard you had some interesting facts and factoids and stories you'd like to tell us.
Yeah. So go to the next slide right quick. The next slide before we go to the actual thing. But I just wanted to. So we're talking about kind of the history of Mario because they're about to come out with a new movie, and it's kind of people are talking about Mario.
Have you watched the trailer? Have you guys seen the trailer?
Yeah.
I saw part of it. I want to
Interesting.
kind of hold off because
What are you talking about? We reacted to the trailer.
No, the most
No,
recent
there's
trailer.
one that came out yesterday. That's why there's a lot of Mario
Yeah.
stuff. Go to the Wikipedia page because I want to specifically. I'm gonna have definitely not you. Pronounce the guy's name. This guy,
Shigeru Miyamoto.
Shigeru. Okay.
Shigeru
Miyamoto.
Miyamoto. I
It's-
could have done that.
It's Miyamoto.
Why are you throwing shade at me?
He's Miyamoto.
Your track record on this podcast has not been great.
Everybody knows
I know.
Miyamoto.
Yeah. I just can't pronounce the Shigeru.
He's always in the
Miyamoto.
Nintendo, like the Nintendo, when they release something new for the games or anything. Miyamoto's always there.
What do you have to say?
I just wanted to kind of talk about Mario history a little bit.
Okay, so give us a briefing.
Sugary. That's
Miyamoto.
Okay, let's just say
Miyamoto-san.
Mr. Miyamoto-san created.
Think Mario, but then go
No,
Luigi, and then mix them up and go
that's wrong.
Miyamoto.
No,
No,
cut
no.
that out. Just cut that out of the
no.
podcast.
no. Why? You
No.
crazy son of a gun! I'm trying to make word associations.
So back in 1981, they released a game. You'd think
Donkey
it'd
Kong.
be Mario. No, it was not Mario.
I think most people know this.
Well, that's for the fans that
I don't know this.
you didn't know this. So
I don't know the history of gamings and Game Boys.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'll be quiet.
Okay, where did Mario come
But
from?
when we get these 40-year-old people coming into our comments, it's interesting to see young
They do-
people
they do
learning
this.
about
They do
all
this.
this stuff that we've all known about for 40 years.
Listen, it's not my fault.
Sorry,
but I'm
we're
not
not
40.
old.
We gotta take our own process and
Yeah,
look things
this
up on
is- this-
Wikipedia
Yeah.
so we can understand the shoes you walked the streets in. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But
You
I
get
already
distracted by the strangest.
I know this. So
Okay,
explain it
so
for the
really
people at
quickly,
home.
and then we're gonna just get into
Okay,
Mario
okay,
itself.
okay.
So back in 1981, Donkey Kong was created, and they were, the game, the barrels you got to climb up.
Yes.
That game was created, and they were trying to get Popeye, could not get the licensing.
They were trying to Popeye
Popeye.
with
Mario.
Donkey Kong.
Yes.
He would have been the little guy who climbs up the
Yeah,
thing and jumps over the barrels.
Okay.
but they could not get the licensing for him because he was.
He's a
popping
cartoon.
and cartoons.
Yeah,
and stuff
Big
by then.
Spinach owns Popeye.
So they created a character, Mr. Video, and later changed the name to Mario.
Why Mr. Video, may I ask?
I don't really know. It doesn't really.
There were other games like Mr. Game & Watch.
Can you point at that where you're seeing that?
Originally called Mr. Video.
Oh, but there's not a link. I was going to see if
he
there's
was
a
renamed
link.
after Mario Segal. Or Segal. I don't know.
Seagal's probably correct. And who is he?
You zoomed into his face instead of reading the bio.
That's what I'm curious about. I want to know what people
An
look
American
like.
businessman and real estate developer.
I prefer to read people's faces. And you know what that face says to me?
Go stop zooming out. I'm trying to read.
This is what I wanted to control the
So
computer.
Mario's named after him while he was renting a warehouse to Nintendo.
Oh, okay.
So he was a
real estate guy for Nintendo.
and he was renting a warehouse out to them,
That's
and so
fun.
they named the
character.
character Mario.
That's like, it seems easy. Like, it's like, just go with Mario. We just had a conversation with him about next month's rent.
Yeah, Mario. It sounds great.
Mario. Call him Mario.
Then
Dr. Video doesn't make sense.
Go back to the other
Dr. Video.
'cause I wanted to finish up what I was
Did he
saying.
get evil?
Scroll out a little bit. I can't read that. And then later in 1985, Super Mario Bros.
Yeah.
Series of gaming. What the actual Super Mario Bros. So then go back to my slides quick.
Voiced by Charles Martinetti. Does it say that?
Yeah, they
or
well,
Martinet.
I was
There
literally
was
about to say that.
I think 3 people that has done
Yeah,
Mario's
Martinet.
voice over the years. So they scroll out all the way. Why are you zoomed in?
So we can read it.
We can read it zoomed out.
No,
We're not 40.
Mario, and then voiced by
Lou.
I just lost it.
This is insane.
Lou and Walker.
You guys are being extremely
Leave it-
judgmental.
Stop touching stuff.
And later
leave
Walker.
it on this screen right here. Don't touch it. Leave it.
I'm trying to make
And
an
then
experience
Bob,
for the viewer.
I'll smack you,
So-
Don't you dare smack me. I'll smack you back.
and then I'll kiss you.
Don't kiss me. I'll kiss you back.
You gotta kiss it like a glizzy.
Without context and everything.
So
Finish what you're saying.
Lou, Walker, Bob, and then now Chris Pratt.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Pratt's number 4.
Chris Pratt is
Lou,
4.
Walker, Bob.
Well, Bob Hoskins played him in the movie, the old one, the old live action one.
It's still the voice. It don't matter.
What about
Yeah.
Charles?
He's the original, and in most all the games.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you missed Charles.
So okay.
I
so
said him
5.
at the beginning.
So
Charles
5.
One,
Martinet.
2, 5
Charles,
people so far have done
Lou,
the voice of Mario.
Walker, Bob, and Chris.
And Chris.
Great. Can you go back to our slides?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so go to our next slide. I
What
wanted
is
to
this?
kind of just show that we've kind of got a Boba Fett thing going on. You know, Boba Fett wasn't supposed to be a very popular character, but
Yeah.
because of the fans liking him and falling in love with this character that was only on screen for a couple minutes, George Lucas was like, we're going to create a whole thing. And then now he has his own TV show, which wasn't good, by the way. We're not talking about that, though. Because of people liking Mario, they have created all of this that has Mario in it.
Well, not all of it.
Okay, but
Donkey. Well, they're most of these over here are Mario centered,
yeah.
and then we got Donkey Kong over here. We got some of the. We got Luigi's Mansion, Game and Watch,
Sonic the Hedgehog.
But it kind of explains like where Mario kind of fits in.
So like from Donkey Kong, the original, it spreads out, and you get a lot of different stuff. Where's Smash Brothers?
Super Mario's.
Where's Smash Bros?
Super Mario's.
Oh, it has up there miscellaneous, so they've probably got it up there.
Where?
Super Mario Strikers. It's at the very top at the right. It looks like it's just lists up there.
Miscellaneous.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying, are we trying to follow this?
Well, I was just showing this to
No, it spreads from
kind of
Donkey
show,
Kong.
yeah, how like from Donkey Kong,
We got a ton of stuff.
yeah.
So what was the first Mario? Mario was Dr. Video at
In
first
Donkey Kong.
So the
Donkey
first
Kong.
games
we're talking
we-
this Mario.
So the first games we got spread from going right, Mario Bros. After Donkey Kong. And then below it, we've got Donkey Kong. And to the left of it is
Super
Donkey
Mario.
Kong Jr.
Yes.
And then we get Donkey Kong Country, classic Super Mario,
Yeah.
They've got Mario and the Rabbids up there, but I don't see Super Smash Brothers Melee.
I'm gonna be honest.
Honest.
I'm gonna be honest.
Hello, Onius.
Super Mario is the best logo up here.
I
Them
like
It's
it.
a
colors.
good
It's
looking
clean.
logo.
It's clean, bro.
Mhm.
That's
I
a
do
good
like it.
one. And that was number 2.
Yeah.
Number 2, early on. They
Oh,
knew
yeah.
what they were doing. After that, they lost their way a little bit. But
I don't
Super
know.
Mario,
What's another good one?
that's the most eye-catching in my mind.
I feel like the Donkey Kong ones are iconic because like Donkey Kong's always orange and then like a green font or something.
But besides Super Mario, what
Kinda
looks better than Super Mario?
I don't see Mario Party on here either.
I don't see.
Can we scroll
Mario
into
Kart.
that? We might not be able to see it. It might be too blurry, but can you scroll?
Nope.
No, okay, never mind.
If we were on a browser,
If we were on my computer, which had this, then I could.
Probably zoom in.
no, you couldn't. We're in slideshow mode.
Go to slide.
No, you can't. So let's look
But
at this
no,
timeline.
It's kind of interesting that like I didn't know about this about Mario. I knew that like it was all kind of linked and these characters for Nintendo, but I didn't realize that Mario. When you think of Mario, you don't think of
Mr. Video or Popeye or anything. Or Donkey Kong. Well, you might think
Kinda do.
but
Some
the
people
original game was
associate-
Donkey Kong.
Yeah, you don't. I don't even for the original. I think of Mario. I don't think of Donkey
And that's,
Kong.
that was the inspiration for Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah,
The game was, I think the game was called Fix It Felix Jr.
yeah.
But it should have been called
Felix.
Wreck-It Ralph if they were following the Mario trend. Because he was the villain. He was the one at the top of the thing, hitting all the barrels and stuff down. How did Donkey Kong get his name?
I was curious. Okay, so Miyamoto used donkey to convey stubborn in English, while Kong was simply to imply him being a large ape,
Yeah.
kind of like King Kong. The name
Follows-
Stubborn
Donkey
ape
Kong.
is what he's saying.
Yeah.
So Donkey's name literally is stubborn ape.
Yep.
Mhm. Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong, and it stuck. It stuck.
Mhm.
So that was pretty, and that was the first rendition of this whole world, this Nintendo world.
How much?
Donkey Kong. Was
Hey,
the
if you know the Donkey Kong rap,
Look
put
up
it down in the rap.
Miyamoto. Go
Yeah.
type Miyamoto net worth. I know he's dead, right?
No,
Of course.
he was just in the Nintendo thing. He was just in the.
He's still alive?
He was
How old
just
is he
in the
then?
announcement.
How old is he then? I thought he was like really old.
Oh, he's a young guy. He's your age.
No, he's not.
He's old. He's definitely old.
I know he's the.
He was just in the
friggin-
Nintendo Direct for Mario.
I didn't. Okay.
That's it. 40 million.
He's got to be more than that.
That's pretty low.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It might be taken in personally. That might just be his personal net worth, but Nintendo's definitely worth more than 40 mil.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe. 70
salary
years old.
1
Okay.
million per
I thought
year.
He was.
He looks good for 70.
He do be looking. Yeah.
You know, but Asians,
Mm-hmm.
they look young or very old.
Or very old.
Very old.
Yeah.
So he's not going to look really old till he gets in his 90s.
Yeah.
So just 40 million can't be correct. Let me check out one other one. Just looked up Miyamoto's net worth, Nintendo Switch.
Could be $1 billion. Well, you've gone on a.
He could be a billionaire, but he's not an evil, selfish prick. He still has plenty of money, lives modestly, doesn't need to hoard billions and run child sex rings on his private islands. Gosh, dang it.
Or maybe the Japanese are much better at hiding all that stuff.
Yeah, probably.
But I don't know.
What
Look,
kind of shade are we throwing
I
in
would
the name
agree.
of
I would
Miyamoto?
agree with Josh. I think he probably has more, but doesn't put it on display if he does.
So yeah, he's modest. It seems Google can't even figure it out. Google thinks he only has $40 million.
Yeah, but everybody always knows that Google's wrong.
Yeah.
I was just
No.
guessing what Google thought.
That's not even Google. That's just some random website.
Stop telling your company to kill Smash Bros. Scene, Miyamoto. Let's put an end to this.
I'm looking forward to the Mario
Let the tournaments.
movie. Mario movie coming out. I'm seeing a lot of stuff about it.
I know there's some things in the trailer I'm not too hyped about.
I didn't watch the whole trailer. I watched some of it. I was trying to hold off for our reactions.
Some of Chris Pratt's performances I wasn't too jazzed about.
Really?
Yeah, because
Chris
Mario,
Pratt is disappointing you.
Mario played by Charles Martinet is, you know, here we go,
Yeah.
wahoo, you know, stuff like that. There's a few sound effects, but Chris Pratt's wahoo is more like wahoo,
Yeah.
right? And he says, "Let's a go."
He says it like that?
He says, "Let's a go."
We'll see.
I'm not
We'll
into
see.
that. I can't
Hold
do
up.
that.
How would you do a on-screen character for Mario? Because this is the first on-screen story for Mario. We've seen him in campaigns. We've seen him as a game character for decades.
Mm-hmm.
We're now going to get the first on-screen version of Mario where he has a lot of dialogue. He has to interact with characters intimately or violently. We'll see.
I think you can take the character, and I would have hired Charles Martinet because he's alive, and tone it down so he's not quite, always up in that high octave. Wahoo, yeah, wahoo, mamma mia. He's not always up there, and have him kind of have a relatively normal voice,
like Chris Pratt did.
No, higher, with a little bit of New York, like first generation New York or second generation New York, where they still have a New York accent, but they also use a lot of Italian.
Throw it in there.
So that would make sense for him to be like, let's go. You could do it, and I don't know
that Chris Pratt was good casting.
Yes.
Or is it because they casted Chris Pratt because he's popular?
Because he's popular and it's for kids.
Because it's for kids. Now, who's going to enjoy it more, kids or us?
No, there's a lot of big names in this movie.
But it's for kids.
They're doing it for the name.
Yeah, all of the characters are designed to look like their Switch.
But I mean, the Nintendo's made it very clear that their games are party games and for kids.
Man,
I mean, they're
Nintendo's like, you age out of this.
I enjoy the crap out of it.
Yeah, but I mean, like recently they shut down the Smash Bros. Tournament.
Yeah.
They've never been supportive of the Smash Bros. Scene. They're not making games with like a ton of depth.
Why am I racing?
Mario Kart.
Mario Kart. I could play Mario Kart for
I love
hours.
me some Mario Kart. It makes me angry.
It makes everyone angry.
Because it doesn't matter if you got skill, you're a good player. Here's a blue shell.
Yeah,
you good at this game?
You guys got Mario Kart?
We got Mario Kart. We're gonna pull it out for Christmas party.
Blue shell.
Oh yeah.
Blue shell is when you hit that first place.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Blue shell usually comes after you. Yeah, it's annoying, but red shell happens more often.
Red shell happens, but
I like green shell.
With proper item management, you can put a green shell or a banana behind you and hold it there.
No.
Yes, you can.
Okay, yeah, but you got to be good.
No, you just hold back on the joystick. And with proper item management, you can avoid those. Blue shells, like, if you're really good and you're in front, then
you're done.
You're done. Let's hope you're not close to the finish line when it hits.
Yeah, because that happens to everybody.
All the other people pass you.
And the finish line was right there. Mm-hmm. It was right there.
If you didn't have one of the boom boxes, you're done.
Yeah. And some of them people hold on to them blue shells.
Yeah.
And then
some
they
people hold on to some people hold on to a bullet bill to where they know where they're right at the right spot to hit that bullet bill and just go flying past
I love the bullet bill, though. And you only get the bullet bill if you're in like 8th and below place. No. That's the only time you get them. If you're in first place, all you get is bananas.
You get bananas and coins.
You get bananas and coins.
Hope you like bananas and coins. Maybe if you're lucky, a green shell.
Maybe. That's what Josh was saying. It's freaking hard if you have the opportunity to get a green shell. Hold it behind you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because the people, especially if you're in first, they're throwing shells at you.
They're throwing mad
Just
shells.
throwing everything at you.
You know, this is what I think. I think people should probably play Mario Kart more this Christmas season.
Yeah.
And argue with friends and family about it.
Yeah.
Just argue, and then work yourself up for this Mario film. And then tell us in the comments, come back and tell us what you thought about Chris Pratt's performance in this new Mario film. That's what I want to see.
Well, no, it's not coming out till like April.
Is it?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I don't think it's coming out Christmas.
No, it's not going to be this. It's not coming out soon. It's coming out next year
Oh, I'm sorry.
in like April.
Well,
You're so used to trailers dropping, then a month later the movie comes out.
yeah. I didn't know they're getting this much leadway on a film.
Yeah.
I thought, they just dropped Avatar's trailer. I was like, well, I guess it's coming out like in 2 weeks.
I'm pretty sure it's April 7th or something like that.
All right. Well, we'll be looking forward to
Yeah,
this
we'll be
one.
talking about Mario probably some more if there's stuff to talk about.
There will be.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, it's going to be like Sonic. Like, it's, bearable, but a kid's movie. I don't know.
So, before we moved on, did you guys see that? Did you guys see if that one film, The Animated Strange World, got any more money?
I haven't looked at it.
Haven't looked.
I'm curious. I want to look at it real quick. For people who don't know, on our studio channel, we did it live, and we put out a short that broke down the new animated
ago, though.
Strange. Also, Ben Shapiro did a video like 13 days ago that said, "Don't let your kids watch this movie." So that might be
The culture
some
is
of that
being influenced
some
by
of
that.
that
know
Daily
that.
Wire shade.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I realize we have like 2 or 3 more segments after this, right?
How many segments did you create?
I said
We
I
got
had
one
created the
more
whole
after
podcast,
this, and
you
then
added an opener.
Monsters. We have
What
2
are
more
the
after
2
this?
left?
More after this, yeah.
And then Monsters?
And then Monsters. That's what I was.
Well, we
gotta
can get through
to
them quick. I want to figure this out.
I don't think they haven't hit their second weekend as of this recording.
No.
Let's see. Strange World News. Yeah, just more information about it being
A failure.
a failure.
Yeah.
Lightyear, Strange World, Lightyear flop.
Yeah, they're not doing super great.
They're not. If you guys want to hear just the opening weekend stuff, Strange World to lose 147 million.
Yeah.
That's more than we saw
It
before.
said last time it was
100 million. This went up to almost 50 million plus.
Everything's changing.
Dang, dude. Looks like Disney's on the fall.
Yep.
It'll take a few bad movies for the next couple years that we'll have to endure until they'll start making the good movies, or maybe next year. But we'll have to endure at least 2 years of
Just wait for
movies they
House of
started like
Dragons
a year
to come
ago. But we'll have to endure those for the next couple of years.
That sucks.
back. House of the Dragon. We need that to come back.
It's gonna be a
2024.
minute.
Yeah.
No, 2024. They
Give more
announced-
Rings of Power. You feel me?
Nah.
You guys, you want? No? Okay.
2024.
No, we're done with Rings of Power.
Give me more. I want more Arcane.
I want Arcane too.
I want Arcane. I want,
But they're taking their time with Arcane.
yeah.
I want Narnia. I want to see what Netflix does with Narnia.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Um,
But I'm scared about that.
But for people that, if you are a fan of Harry Potter, you like the Harry Potter movies, you'll like Wednesday Addams. Go watch it. It was a good Harry Potter-esque show. You'll have fun with it. What's next?
So we don't have to touch on this a lot because
He's an old man.
he's an old man and it's gonna be so bad, so bad.
Why do you think it's gonna be so bad?
Let me explain a little
Now,
bit to you.
I skipped out on the Crystal Skull.
You've never seen Crystal Skull?
Never watched it.
You're
I got
blessed. You're a blessed man.
Would you back off? You got Empire exclusive. What are you trying to do?
Go to the page that we have pulled
Why don't
up
you
for this.
ask? You're getting antsy.
I am. I want to be controlling it. It's my podcast, my episode to control it. So scroll down to the cast real quick. So what they've released so far about this film,
Mads Mikkelsen.
what is her name? How do you pronounce that?
Phoebe.
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 Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
So
Phoebe.
what it looks like.
Why is there a silent
Phoebe.
O?
I don't understand English.
Okay.
I don't understand the
We
spelling.
keep throwing off
of
Josh.
this Helen character.
What are you saying, Josh?
So
Antonio Banderas.
why is he zoomed in again?
To get a better look.
He's always zooming in real quick.
To get a better look.
Grandpa
always
Joe
zooming.
can't read the words
Stop. Don't
on the
accuse me of bad
TV.
eyesight.
Where's the clicker at? We got to get closer.
Not Thomas. Antonio Banderas.
Yes.
He's back.
He can't even. His depth perception is off. He can hit the TV.
What do you have to say?
Okay, no, what it looks like of what they've released so far, it looks like she's going to be an assistant character for Harrison Ford, Indiana Jones.
Get him his little walker.
Yeah.
He's like, give me my hat, my
He's probably going to be walking around like we saw in Cry Macha.
Yeah.
You know,
You mean Clint Eastwood?
Clint Eastwood's Cry Macha. He's not quite that old, but he's pretty old.
No, have you seen Harrison Ford walk around? He walks the same as Clint Eastwood. He's old.
He's
man.
old. So
All of his friends are dying.
what they're predicting, and we're not gonna. Well, you're not gonna like this. She's gonna be this kind of assistant character for Indiana Jones, and they're predicting he's gonna pass the hat off to her, the hat and the whip off to her.
You know why?
Well, I know I'm getting into that because Shia LaBeouf lost the role because of the controversy that he went through. He lost the.
Is this your theory?
No, this is actually a thing.
This is real?
Yeah.
Was he supposed to be in this movie?
He was Indiana Jones' son. Why would he not become the next Indiana Jones? I don't know if he was
because he didn't want
because they wanted to wipe the slate clean and not reference that movie at all.
Oh, that could be it.
I think that's what they were doing.
But what they're trying to do is pass the torch to a female Indiana Jones, and then they're wanting to create
I'd like to
Disney
see.
Plus show about Indiana woman.
I believe a woman can be very knowledgeable
you-
in the form of archaeology, and I believe a woman can maneuver her way through booby traps. But can she fight a band of Nazis? on
Yeah,
top
that
of
was
a
the whole
speeding
thing.
vehicle?
Yeah, Indiana Jones wasn't just an archaeologist. He was like this action hero.
A woman
of this-
can't fight a whole band of Nazis.
Yeah, you remember that
on top
dude-
of a moving vehicle.
Remember that dude in the first movie, the big bald one that gets
Yeah.
pushed into the plane propeller?
Yeah.
He dies that way because Indiana Jones couldn't beat him,
Yeah.
right?
So he
He's
dodges.
Also,
So he
hand to
distracts
hand.
him.
Something else that's not going to be great, that's just, it's over the top and stupid. They're saying that she's going to be the daughter of, what was his partner, in the museum? Like, the guy that always, he talked.
Oh, yeah. I know who you're talking about.
You really?
I don't know his name, but I know who you're
Indiana Jones,
referencing.
the first one. Our Ark of the Covenant. Raiders of the Lost Ark. Not Ark of the Covenant. That was what it was about.
Yeah.
Raiders of the Lost Ark cast. So she's going to be this guy on the end.
This guy?
Dr.
Marcus Brody.
Yeah, Marcus.
Okay.
It looks like she's going to be the daughter of Brody.
Okay. Makes sense.
Wait,
And
was Buff, since I skipped out on Crystal Skull, was Buff Karen's
yes,
Yeah.
son.
son? Because that one, that
She's
little
actually
rendezvous
in
on the
that
ship.
movie.
Was that the moment of conception? The rendezvous on
No.
Raiders of the Lost Ark
Probably not
on the
that.
ship,
Not
where
no.
they
No
wake up the
idea.
next morning
No,
and he
no.
puts his hat on and he walks out.
Probably
No.
not.
If he was a smoker, he would have pulled one out at that moment.
Yeah.
No,
I
but
don't
you know
think
she was
that's
in
it.
Crystal Skull too.
She was.
Yeah,
I totally.
they brought
skipped on
her
that
into the movie too.
Okay, so we got Brody being the papa.
Yeah, but I don't like this.
Go back to
it's the
Phoebe.
son of this person, so
Yeah.
that they could pass the
Zoom
torch
out.
to it. And Mads Mikkelsen is gonna be like this kind of villain character, maybe.
I don't know
With
about the
Antonio
cast.
Banderas.
I'm not stoked on the cast.
What about
Not
what
either.
about Toby Jones?
I like Toby Jones. I like Antonio Banderas. I like that guy. I like
Gimli,
I
bruh.
like Boyd Holbrook. I like Mads Mikkelsen. Here's the issue. They just put big names into these big roles because they don't
Well,
believe
they put a big
in-
guy in.
No, there's a big dude. They don't believe in the movies. So there's like, all right, let's get like just more,
Holy
actors.
cow, he's thick.
He's like 8 feet, 9 feet tall.
Is
He
he
a big
really?
dude.
Yeah, he's huge.
How is he so big? Why is he not the mountain?
He's from.
He's just as big as the mountain.
He's Dutch, isn't he? Yeah.
He's
Dutch?
been in some other things.
German.
Scroll down. What is his?
Of course, he's German.
What is his known for? Black Widow,
Gangs of London, The Kingsman.
Okay. And he's probably been in small background roles.
Yeah,
or
it's like
big man roles.
yeah.
Big bodyguard guy roles.
He's going to be the next plane propeller death.
Yeah, probably. They'll be like, "Hey, remember this from the first good movie?"
We're whitewashing the character,
It'll be like Jurassic World.
shot for shot.
Yeah.
It'll be like,
probably.
"Oh, remember this
This-
from that good movie?"
If we I don't know if we're gonna do a clip off of this, but if we do, we need to name it like the worst Indiana Jones or the worst. They have
Crystal
killed.
Skull is
they-
the worst so far, but we haven't seen this one.
They are killing Raiders of the Lost Ark because of
We'll say this. This is what the
third one
title
was
will
good
be.
too. The
This
third
will
one
be
with,
the title.
Oh yeah,
Wait.
I like the third one.
I don't really care
Look,
for the
we got
second
this.
one.
We got this.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones. I'm not answering that. Indiana Jones is becoming a woman, or Indiana Jones is getting a vagina.
Indiana Jones.
Transitioning.
No.
That's a good one.
The transition of Indiana Jones.
I saw this was a fan theory. Some YouTuber said if they were gonna pass the torch to anybody, and they want to make it some kind of like statement, like an ethnic or woman or something, pass it to the Asian kid that's on the second movie that hasn't played. You got it, Dr. Jones. That hasn't been in anything but like one movie. Wasn't he in?
He's in the Goonies. Didn't he play Data in the Goonies?
He did.
Yeah, but no, he's only been in like that, the Goonies, and I think he was in Everywhere, Everywhere, Everything,
that
all
one.
the time,
All at once.
I think he played in that movie too.
I didn't like that actor. He was so annoying.
As a little kid.
He's an
I
adult
don't
now.
care.
Cute
I
little
didn't-
kid.
He was fine in Goonies. Terrible in Indiana Jones.
I'm setting
Second one
booty
wasn't
traps.
the best.
I hated it. I hated it.
Yeah, this is gonna be a terrible, terrible movie, and we haven't even watched it. They might lose 150 million.
Yeah.
They might. We're
Well,
not going to go to the
it's
theaters and
Disney.
watch this.
It's Disney, so.
It is Lucasfilms, isn't it? Oh, guess what? I heard in rumors that Kathleen Kennedy might be leaving her role or getting fired of the boot, I don't know, after this film.
Interesting.
For what?
As being like the director or whatever of
She's head of
Lucasfilms.
Oh, okay.
So
So we can get another female
maybe this
in
this
there.
might be the
Younger.
doorway to improvement or complete chaos.
If they haven't kicked everybody out who's worked on the last couple movies that have come out,
they won't.
I'd be booting everybody. I'd be like, all right, where's the talent?
Dude, Disney wants to be like Twitter. And you guys remember when everyone was talking when there was like people telling like their Twitter experience working at Twitter, where basically they did zero work all day.
Yeah.
And they like went to the hot tub and they played like badminton with their friends, and then they had to go get a cold brew to wind down from their badminton.
Right.
And we're talking they're now at noontime. They go to the cafeteria. It has every food possible. And then somewhere around 2:30 in the afternoon, they decide to go from 2:30 to 3 to check their email.
And I attend a meeting.
Where they
have not
provide
seen
donuts and no one eats.
And we throw around some ideas.
And then we go home. All on a hard day's work.
Yeah, what a
They
tough
basically
day.
had a single mom. No, not a singles mom. A stay-at-home mom whose kid is in school. Her life.
Yeah. But doesn't have a kid.
But doesn't have a kid,
and is going to
obviously.
work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's
wild.
Most of them are fired now.
Yeah, that's what Disney wants to be. And they're going to keep trying to be that for these wokens. These wokes.
Woke.
These
Wokey
wokes.
and Wakanda.
I don't want to get into it, but
These Wakandians.
Wakandans.
all the crazy ways that Elon is firing people is actually funny. But I don't want to get into that.
Yeah,
Look it up
Elon's probably
yourself.
like, no more of this. We work.
Yeah, I worry about Elon.
You do?
Yeah, I think he gets a little bit crazy sometimes.
Wait, what's wrong with Elon right
Can
now?
we go back to the
Well, I think he just gets, I don't know, wild.
This is Mads Mikkelsen as the
evil Nazi.
yeah.
He looks like a face that should melt.
He looks
He
good
looks
for
like
this
the
role,
dude with
but
the hand.
Mads
It's
plays
not
a
gonna be-
good bad guy.
Yeah.
He always has. He always
He doesn't
will.
have a lisp, but he has this little in the back of his the
Yeah.
corners of his mouth every time he talks.
Well, he's
Don't say German.
no, he
Dutch.
Dutch somewhere.
What is Mikkelsen? What kind of family name is that?
I don't know. Can we-
Nicholson?
Mikkelsen. You did it right.
Yeah.
Nicholas-
Nicholson? Yeah.
What now, Joshua?
So we just got kind of one more small segment before we get to the monster.
I was about to say, you got two more
Two more.
segments.
Two more segments. This and then the monster. It's gonna be really quick. I just wanted to. I think
Wait,
I want
how long have we been going? You don't have to rush through this.
over an hour and some change.
Okay. Well, you don't have to rush through this.
We don't have to rush. But no. So I just want to probably start once in a while, maybe once a month, doing this kind of as a segment. We're just gonna go through, and this is why I had you pull up just the movies that are coming out this month to let the people know.
Yeah.
December going into January
Mm-hmm.
once
Gotcha.
this comes out on YouTube. So, as this episode comes out, what are people going to be looking forward to this month coming out in
Yeah.
theaters, on streaming services? all
Did you
this stuff.
time this out for when this podcast is being
Yes.
released? Okay, good. So what's coming out?
You have the slide.
Oh,
That's why I had you pull it up.
upcoming releases. Which one?
So scroll up, scroll up.
A pull up.
So this will be coming out the second week of December.
So where do
Scroll
we
up
start?
just a tiny bit more. We're starting a little bit more.
December 16th?
Well, a little bit more.
December
here,
9th, okay.
Yes. So The Whale, I'm really looking forward to that. I don't know if I'll go to the theater watch it, but I'm definitely going to watch that.
That's
when it comes
starring
out.
Brendan Fraser.
Yeah.
Are these movies for theater?
Yes, coming out in theaters.
Okay.
Why are you scrolling again?
So we can see it. And the people on screen can see it. You know, there's for people who don't know, if you're watching on YouTube, you can take your fingers and pinch in. You can zoom into the image. Imagine. They're like, oh, I can see it, but I want to see Brendan Fraser a little more.
Okay.
If I don't zoom in for them.
All right. I'm not saying anything more.
How do you like this? That's it.
All right.
That's my limit. All right, so The Whale is coming out. Spoiler alert. Starring Jim Parsons.
Yeah, I don't know much about these films.
I don't know who Jim-
Empire of Light.
Empire of Light.
Scroll down. This is what we've all been looking forward to.
December 16th. We got Avatar: The Way of Water.
Why is Zoe first? I feel like Sam
Because she's a
Worthington
bigger
should be
name.
first.
She's a
Well,
okay.
I guess Kate Winslet.
Yeah,
is
dang
first, too.
patriarch.
No,
Put the man first.
Okay, who's the human about that the story's about?
I mean, he led.
Not Jake Sully.
Yeah, he led.
he led the
first
story.
movie.
But this is Way
I
of
would have
Water.
put Worthington before Winslet.
We already know Zoe's gonna
I'd
die.
put-
So
No, Zoe is a more popular actor.
who cares?
I would have put Zoe Saldana, Sam Worthington, then Kate
Look,
Winslet.
honestly,
and then Vin
the
Diesel.
only person on this list who might be able to compete with Zoe Saldana's fame might be
Sigourney Weaver. Yeah,
which are
she-
both women. So Sigourney should be up here next to Zoe.
Yeah, but Sigourney
Yeah,
Weaver's
she hasn't
not.
been in anything in a minute.
Yeah,
neither
she's
has
not a
Sam
primary
though.
character.
Sam hasn't either. He did some
Right.
The
stuff
first one.
around like 2010, and then he kind of took a break.
I'm just
for a
saying,
minute.
both Zoe and Sigourney are more popular than Sam Worthington.
Yeah,
They have, they're
but I think
famous.
if you're
By Hollywood,
if you're
standards,
one of
doesn't mean
No,
that
if
she's
you're
a better
by the
actress.
general
if you're
public.
one of the people leading the movie, you got to be up front.
Yeah,
I don't know how much Kate Winslet's going to be leading this movie, but Sam
Kate
Worthington's
Winslet.
in all
Wait,
of the
who's Kate Winslet playing?
one of the
The daughter?
no
like
one
no,
of the green.
the tribe. She's
The
probably
love
gonna be like
interest.
no.
No,
she's
the
gonna
son.
be
She's like the love interest's mom or something.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
She's gonna become mom friends.
Mom friends. Yeah.
With
the-
Natiri.
yeah.
Sick.
Mom friends.
I love to see a good mom friend group.
Well,
Don't you love it?
No,
Well, she'll
no,
probably-
I don't like to see that.
She'll probably be the
We just talked about Twitter being
spiritual
that.
leader
The spiritual guru.
of
Yeah.
the other tribe,
I
the
could
same
see that.
as Natiri's mother was.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Why are
Um,
we arguing over this?
I don't know. The almond and the seahorse.
Rebel Wilson is. I never found her funny, fat or.
Fat Amy,
Yeah.
fat or not?
I never.
She's not fat no mo though.
Well, she ain't funny. She wasn't.
but
funny
she's
when
got
she-
the Australian accent.
Okay,
She's funny in
wow.
Pitch
I got an
Perfect,
American
but-
accident.
You do got an American accident.
Yeah, an American accident.
All right. The next
Men in
week after
Blue.
that, we got Men in Blue,
Yeah,
This looks like
a horror film.
it does.
who is this an Indian made film?
It do look like that. All of those
Sri
people.
Manu Gopal.
All right. When it
Minaj
comes to Men in Blue, you might
Chandra.
not understand the language they speak.
Interesting.
But here's one that comes after for all you kids out there.
Yeah,
Listen.
Puss in
Boots.
Boots, The Last Wish. And then we also for all you conspiracy
Bigfoot?
theorists, Bigfoot and The Monster Within.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be bad.
All right, and then the last one we'll give before,
Yeah, we're gonna. Well, we cut
December.
It off at
December.
We'll give a few. The first week in
Yeah.
January.
So December 23rd,
Babylon.
Babylon.
That'll be an interesting.
Hold
one.
on. We didn't release it, but we did try to do a trailer reaction for Babylon,
Yeah,
starring Brad Pitt,
their names are right there.
Margot Robbie. I'm over here trying to use my brain. Olivia Wilde and Jen Smart. Jean Smart. Don't matter. We did a trailer reaction
Mm-hmm.
that we didn't post because this film is all about debauchery.
It was just it looked terrible.
It doesn't look good,
Yeah.
and it looks what might be a comparable film. American Pie.
No,
because American Pie is a teen comedy.
Probably like
American
Wolf of
Pie-
Wall Street.
Yeah.
Like the Wolf of
More
Wall
Wolf
Street?
of Wall Street. than
Maybe-
American Pie is a teen comedy.
Yeah,
Who's
Wolf
the
of Wall
director
sex.
of Babylon, you think?
I don't know.
Just
I
that,
don't-
that
I
might
don't
give us a
care.
cue. All right, we'll come back to that.
No,
I
no.
want to dance with somebody. Okay,
I'm surprised they
That's
haven't
a-
been
that's a big
advertising
film.
that a lot more than they have. I mean, Elvis, they
Got a lot of advertising
got
for
a
Elvis.
ton.
I'll give you a hint. It's because she's a black woman.
Oh, you
No.
think so?
Yes, and
And that's why Stanley Tucci's name is first. Stanley
It's
Tucci's a
about-
good actor. I can't wait to see Stanley Tucci play what's her face?
Whitney Houston.
Whitney Houston.
Okay, and then
I believe in him.
there's one called Corsage
Corsage.
with a woman giving the middle finger.
Yep.
And I don't know. It looks like a timepiece comedy, probably.
Yeah.
Real quick, I want to see the director of Babylon. Just as I'm curious.
Nobody cares. You scroll past it.
No, it's down here. It's way down here.
Wait, you passed it again.
No, it's right,
Up.
right here. All right.
Damien Chazelle.
He's got
gosh.
pimples all
Young.
over his face. He's a little boy.
Yeah.
He's a little boy.
Won Oscar though for Whiplash.
Oh, wow.
Wait, Whiplash, La La
La
Land.
La Land.
Wow.
Big Hollywood stuff.
10 Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's known for some pretty good stuff, actually.
Dang it. Now it makes me wonder about Babylon. I don't think I'm going to watch it.
Any movie with Olivia Wilde and Margot Robbie, I'm not into.
You're not into Margot Robbie?
Not really.
I know she was in Birds of Prey,
and which is
but
terrible.
there's
I-
other things she's good in. Like she's
No. I'm talking it's like Olivia Wilde
Plus.
and Margot Robbie. That's too much.
It's too much.
If both of them agreed to be in it, then
Who was the?
Let's
who was
go back. Let's do one more. Let's do.
Tobey Maguire's in this. Babylon
yeah, I
film.
saw him in the trailer.
Tobey Maguire has like this killer vibe to him sometimes. Like when he gets angry and he's not being like all sweet like Spider-Man, like you look in his eyes and it's like I see hate and I see Satan sometimes, and I'm a little scared.
That's what I see when I see
Tobey
Mr.
Maguire.
Beast when he
You see-
when he smiles, because he smiles like
He doesn't know how to smile with
he
his
smiles
eyes.
with all of his teeth.
He
and
smiles like this.
his eyes look dead. You look,
And he does this.
and I get it. Some people smile different,
But look at Brendan
he
Fraser's smile.
smiles so wide.
Look
That's
at Brendan Fraser's
terrible
smile.
That's not a smile.
No, I'm saying look at Brendan Fraser, the man,
Yeah.
smile, and you'll see what true joy looks like when you smile.
But he smiles sad. Brendan smiles. He smiles like his eyebrow.
Did you guys watch that Vanity Fair video?
Yes.
Of him going through his career.
I haven't.
He doesn't know what a joke is these days.
Yeah.
I told you he's
He
lost
laughs
it.
and giggles at things that aren't funny. That
Hey,
came
I
out of
told
his
you
mouth. he seems sad.
I told you he does not have it anymore to be a big name actor. He does not have it anymore.
But The Whale looks good though.
It does. I'm gonna watch it.
Now, his personality outside of acting aside, I think he can still act.
Probably, yeah.
But, probably personally, he's old man,
Yep.
disconnected a bit.
You gotta know
Can't
when
follow
to.
as well.
It's okay.
You gotta know when to fold 'em. Know when to.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Know when to walk away. The rest of the song,
Yeah. Well, you gotta know.
But I
Know the
think that's
time.
the thing. I think he put it up for so long, and he feels like he missed a lot, and he wanted to get back into something.
Yeah.
If you're a carpenter, and you're not doing the carpeting, then what are you
Well,
doing?
I don't think carpenters.
If you're a carpenter and
do
you're not
we
doing
do with
carpeting.
carpet.
All right, so we got monsters to pit.
Got anything to say?
I'll say this. I have a sick one I've been holding on to.
Oh my gosh, dude!
Are you kidding? Are you kidding? Did this happen last time?
We're
We
so
both-
good at this.
Wait, what did we pick last time? We both picked.
I picked a roach from Men in Black, and you picked a scorpion.
I picked a I picked a scorpion for Clash of the Titans.
Both bugs.
I've chosen
Both bugs.
Oliphant from Lord of the Rings, and you chose Shelob
Shelob.
from Lord of the Rings. What did you think when you saw this?
I
Were
was
you
like,
at all baffled? Were you like
a little bit? I said this when we were sitting.
You're like, one's a little bit bigger than the other, but he's like it's fighting makes it so that I don't know exactly who would win.
Yeah, because an elephant, all it does is crush things.
Blunt
You need
force trauma.
One bite from this thing, though, and this thing actually can kind of fight.
All right.
The real
so-
question is, in the book lore, does Shelob have venom?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
I know
just
she has the
stuns.
paralyzing. She has the paralyzing, but that's a difference between a paralyzation for its prey and a bite that contains venom.
I would assume she probably has venom.
We saw a close up of her mouth, and it was just.
I mean, look at her mandibles right there
She got
and her fangs.
some fangs.
I would assume she has venom. And I think she could probably take down an elephant with her paralyzing.
No.
Listen,
no.
I didn't finish.
The
I didn't finish.
The paralyzation is
I
meant
didn't
for
finish!
creatures. She can't wind up an elephant.
I think if she stabbed an elephant enough times,
She's like a snake. It's you have a venom pouch in your body, like a snake does on their head. You bite once, you stab once, you're out. You gotta let it.
Yeah, but that's a pretty
Develop.
big.
that's not how it works.
Yes,
Snakes have venom. They bite, but they don't release all the venom.
if they're a baby snake, they do.
She is not a
She
baby.
does not have enough paralyzation power juice
I think
to take down an oliphant.
I think she probably does, and if she stabbed it enough, she could paralyze it.
Take
it out.
She could stab it as many times as she wants. First off, that's some pretty thick skin. I don't know if
No!
it'll make it through.
Legolas shot her with an arrow and killed
Legolas
him.
shot it with arrows. I'm pretty sure I saw Eowyn do a thing like this and take out its hamstrings.
No,
all right?
no,
I saw
no.
Eomer throw a spear at one.
No,
There's
but that spear did zilch,
well, he actually took out the guy on top, and then
Yeah.
the elephant. Yeah,
and then they played dominoes.
right. So here's the thing: if Shelob is crawling all over the elephant, I don't think he can get a hold of her.
But if the elephant gets one swipe,
if he gets a hold of her,
one swipe with the trunk,
I think he's
or one kick with the leg, and he can move his head around and hit with the trunk. Probably the only thing he can't reach with that trunk is his booty hole.
But also,
which if she climbs up inside that booty hole,
she's somewhat intelligent. Her crawling all over his body, I think, would freak him out, and he wouldn't attack. He would run.
Yeah.
He would start freaking out and running, going on a rampage.
You guys clearly are combating for each other.
She'd be stabbing him with her butt.
I'm going for Shelob because I think Shelob would be able to do some more damage than...
Okay, first of all, you have to see this. You must see this.
No, I would agree.
Shelob does not have enough paralyzing juice to take down to paralyze an entire elephant.
She could if she bit a bunch of times.
Purely conjecture.
It's built spider on large scale. The paralyzation is built to paralyze their prey, which is their size and smaller most of the time.
I love how this guy's a bug expert.
Not the size of an oliphant.
No.
Yes.
No.
Paralyzation does not work on a large scale.
If she stabs it enough, she probably could fill it up with enough venom.
This guy, man, we need to take away his computer privileges. I'm doing my podcast.
Oh, you know that the African golden tree frog secretes poison from its skin. If you touch it, you are paralyzed. Paralyzed.
But Shelob is not a frog.
How do you know how potent her venom is? You only saw her use it on one little hobbit.
Yeah.
We can.
She's used it on orcs.
Associate. Well, we know it's not powerful enough to kill a hobbit.
So
no, it is. She just chose not to kill the hobbit because she likes to eat it.
She doesn't have choice over do I kill it or do I paralyze it. She gets one thing. Paralyzed to suck the blood.
I'm pretty sure she knows what her paralyzation can do.
Yeah.
Paralyze things.
I don't see how you can pick Shelob over a giant monster, an oliphant, Joshua.
I think it would be a tough fight.
Yeah. And I think, at the end of that tough fight, and a few jump scares, because for sure, an elephant's not going to like something crawling on its body. But at the end of the fight, I think
ultimately,
I think the elephant will have the upper hand.
Here's what would happen.
The elephant would have the upper hand.
Here's what would, in reality,
its immune system.
Here's what would happen in reality.
It's not going to just fall down.
To die.
Hold on. This is what would happen in reality with creatures like this. It would never happen, for one thing.
Yeah.
And the elephant would probably run away until he was sure that, he could turn around and make a nice charge. And Shelob would probably run away.
Yeah.
Only crawling all over this thing and stinging it until she could get away. Whether that would take down the elephant, I personally believe it would.
It would not.
I don't know that it would paralyze it as long as it paralyzed Bilbo.
Of course not.
But it would definitely make it stumble.
Bilbo anyway. It was Sam. Or Frodo.
Yeah. Here's another point for you. Sam beat this thing.
Sam beat Shelob.
Mm-hmm.
Sam could not beat Legolas.
She didn't beat. He stunned her with Sting, and then she just chose to retreat.
He beat.
Okay.
That's a win.
What happens? One little swipe from the elephant doesn't kill her.
Win. You know what? I think I'm on the side of the elephant now.
Yeah, and you're
just trying to get
No.
Okay.
This isn't your argument.
It doesn't matter, but you're just...
No, this isn't your argument.
Sometimes this person who's just stronger should win. It's a different weight
elephant
class.
is if the elephant got Shelob in his trunk, he could squish her. Got her under his foot, he could squish her.
There's probably a few hundred
laid down,
options.
he could squish her.
I'm fine with the elephant then, if that's what you think. Why?
Well, technically it's an oliphant.
It is an oliphant.
It's a difference between an elephant.
Do I think Shelob would have a good chance? Yes, much more than Joe is giving her credit for.
I'm not saying she wouldn't. I'm just saying she couldn't paralyze a creature.
I think she could. You have no reference.
Yes.
You have no reference that she couldn't. I have reference. She clearly paralyzes a creature. In the movie.
I'm saying we could do a scientific research and say compared to spiders and then upscale.
We can do scientific
research. We can
upscale
this.
But there's no such thing as a spider or an oliphant this big.
And then we can upscale.
We can do the science, but
I don't know,
how strong would Sauron be compared to
this is what I think.
Mithrandir?
This is what I think.
Yeah, we could do the science.
One of them jungle
Aragorn is 83
spiders,
years old.
Those jungle tarantulas, right?
Yeah.
Compared to a baby elephant.
If Merry and Pippin got into a fight, who do you think would win?
Pippin.
Probably.
Pippin.
Let's end this right quick.
Pippin. I see Pippin getting angry.
But the thing is,
And
Pippin
biting.
gets angry because on Mary's behalf.
Yeah.
So if he's angry at Mary, then he's probably fighting like the memory of Mary. At that point, he says, "Mary!" He jumps on
Pippin would.
No, they're fighting each other. They're
Yeah.
not going to defend each other.
I think Pippin wins.
Whatever. There's no point in going to the next
the
slide.
king of the
because-
Oliphaunts.
We lost that camera.
I understand. We have the midnight special coming out on Friday evening at 10 p.m. Thank you guys so much for watching. We love you, and we hope that you had a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, and Patreon link in the description. Why did you ask about Mary and Pippin though? Are you trying to pit them as monsters?
No. You guys were talking about Sam and
Pippin as monsters.
no, you were talking about Sam and you said Sam and Bilbo, and then you said Gandalf. And
I think Pippin would win because he would get angry and start fighting dirty.